Welcome, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're stepping into the fascinating world of one of America's most iconic small treasures, the Liberty Jefferson Nickel. A tiny 5-cent coin that fits in the palm of your hand, yet carries decades of history, mystery, and collector excitement within its metal surface. Some see it as pocket change. But true collectors know certain Jefferson nickels can be priceless time capsules of American minting history. First introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and brought a refined new look to U.S. coinage. On the front, the dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson stands as a symbol of freedom and intellect. On the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's legendary home, represents heritage, architecture, and the American dream. Every strike of this coin whispers a story from the past. Get ready, because the story of the 1943 Liberty Jefferson nickel is not just about a 5-cent coin. It's about wartime history, metal mysteries, and the thrilling possibility that a tiny piece of pocket change could carry a life-changing secret. Picture America in 1943, deep in World War II. Metal was needed for weapons, ships, and machinery. The U.S. Mint changed the very composition of the nickel to support the war effort. That single decision turned ordinary pocket coins into historic artifacts. Today, collectors chase these wartime nickels with passion because they represent a moment when even spare change joined the fight for freedom. Now imagine this. Among millions of 1943 nickels struck, a few were born different. Slight minting quirks, misplaced letters, double designs, off-metal strikes, or unusually sharp details created rare survivors. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. Not every 1943 nickel is a treasure, but the extraordinary ones, the perfectly preserved, the strangely misprinted, the mysteriously unique, are the pieces that whisper stories of hidden fortune. That is where legend meets reality. What truly fuels excitement is the condition. A 1943 Jefferson nickel pulled from everyday circulation may look worn and ordinary, but one that has never touched rough pockets, never rubbed against other coins, never lost its original shine. That is where magic happens. High-grade specimens can command astonishing prices in the collector world. It's not fantasy. It's the result of rarity meeting demand. When history, preservation, and collector desire collide, values climb dramatically. Some of the most sought-after 1943 nickels carry subtle doubling in the lettering or date. Tiny details invisible to the casual eye, but thrilling to trained experts. Others were struck on the wrong metal planchet, creating coins that should never have existed. These mint mistakes are like winning lottery tickets of the numismatic world. They were accidents at the mint, but miracles for collectors decades later. And here's where imagination sparks. A coin only 5 cents in face value, once passed across candy counters and newspaper stands, now locked in glass cases under bright lights at auctions. People gather, hands raised, bidding fiercely. Prices climb, pulses race. It's not just buying metal, it's buying rarity, history, and prestige. In extreme cases, elite specimens have sold for sums that change lives. Not every coin will reach that level, but the possibility is what keeps treasure hunters searching their change jars. The 1943 Jefferson nickel is also special because of its wartime silver alloy composition. Unlike standard nickels, these coins contain silver, giving them a distinct tone, weight, and historical importance. That silver content alone gives them intrinsic value. Add rarity and exceptional condition, and you have a coin that feels like a relic from another era, tangible, real, and precious. Collectors often say the thrill is in the hunt. Somewhere in an old drawer, forgotten tin box, or inherited collection, a rare 1943 nickel could still be waiting. It might look ordinary to an untrained eye. That's why patience, curiosity, and knowledge matter. One careful inspection under proper light can reveal a detail that separates common from extraordinary. But a word of wisdom rides alongside the excitement. Not every 1943 nickel is worth a fortune. True high-value pieces require authentication, grading, and verification by professionals. The real power lies in understanding what makes a coin rare, not just believing every rumor. Knowledge is the key that turns curiosity into opportunity. Still, There is something undeniably thrilling about holding a wartime nickel and realizing it once traveled to the hands of a nation at war. It survived decades. It carried history quietly. And today, it may carry opportunity. Whether worth a modest premium or a staggering sum, its story remains priceless. So if you ever come across a 1943 Liberty Jefferson nickel, pause before spending it. Look closer. Study its details. Respect its journey. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. Not just wealth, but connection to history, chance, and eternal thrill of discovery. The 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel is not just a 5-cent coin. It is a tiny piece of wartime history, born in an era when the world was wrapped in fire and steel. In that year, the United States changed the metal composition of nickels to save critical resources for the war, turning this ordinary-looking coin into a silver-rich treasure. Most people spent them without a second thought, letting them slip through fingers in grocery stores and movie theaters, never imagining that decades later collectors would search for the finest surviving examples like hunters chasing hidden gold. Today, the 1944 Jefferson nickel stands as a symbol of rarity, history, and unexpected wealth sleeping in small forgotten places. What makes the 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel special is the silent secret inside its metal. Unlike regular nickels, it carries a high silver content, giving it both historical and intrinsic value. Over time, many were melted, worn down, or lost, leaving fewer pristine survivors. The coins that escaped damage, especially those with sharp details and perfect surfaces, have become the stars of elite collections. Their value is no longer measured in cents, but in thousands, tens of thousands, and in exceptional cases, breathtaking sums that can shock anyone who still thinks of them as pocket change. Among these wartime nickels, certain mint marks hold a magic of their own. Coins struck in different mints show subtle differences in strike quality and availability. Some versions are harder to find in top condition, and that scarcity drives collectors into bidding wars that feel like high-stakes auctions of ancient relics. When a flawless specimen appears, polished by time yet untouched by wear, it can command astonishing prices because it represents perfection from a past that can never be recreated. Condition is the golden key to unimaginable worth. A scratched, worn 1944 nickel may only carry modest value, but a sharply struck coin with gleaming surfaces can rise into a completely different universe of price. Professional graders examine every line of Jefferson's hair, every step of Monticello, every shimmer of luster. A single grade difference can multiply value dramatically. This is where ordinary people sometimes discover that a coin lying in an old jar or inherited box is not ordinary at all, but a sleeping fortune waiting to be recognized. Collectors are drawn not only to rarity but to stories. The 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel tells a story of a nation at war, of metal shortages, of factories running day and night. Holding one is like holding a whisper from history. That emotional connection fuels desire, and desire fuels high prices. When history, scarcity, and condition meet in one coin, the result can feel almost unbelievable to those unfamiliar with the collector world. There are also mysterious errors and unusual strikes from 1944 that add an extra layer of excitement. A misplaced mark, a double design, or an off-center strike can turn a common coin into a unique prize. Error coins are the rebels of the minting world, accidents that became legends. Collectors pay incredible sums for such pieces because no two are exactly alike, making them the ultimate trophy in a serious collection. It is important to understand that stories of million-dollar nickels are rare extremes, not everyday realities. Most 1944 Jefferson nickels are valuable, but only the finest or most unusual examples reach extraordinary heights. Still, the possibility that a small silver coin can hold life-changing value keeps treasure hunters checking jars, drawers, and inherited collections with hopeful eyes. The dream itself has power. The dream that history might have quietly placed a fortune in your palm. If you ever believe you have a special 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel, the wisest step is patience. Rushing to sell without proper valuation can mean losing much of its potential worth. Experts can authenticate, grade, and confirm whether your coin is ordinary, special, or truly remarkable. Knowledge is a shield that protects hidden treasure from being sold for pennies. This coin teaches a powerful lesson. Wealth does not always appear as stacks of cash or shining gold bars. Sometimes it hides in the smallest places, disguised as something ordinary. The 1944 Liberty Jefferson Nickel reminds us that history and value often walk hand in hand, and that yesterday's spare change can become tomorrow's collector's dream. So if you ever find one of these wartime nickels resting in your possession, hold it with curiosity and respect. It may simply be a piece of silver history, or it may be something far more special. Either way, it carries the echo of a world long past and the possibility of surprising value. In the realm of coin collecting, fortunes are not made overnight by fantasy. They are uncovered by patience, knowledge, and the thrill of discovering that the smallest things sometimes hold the greatest stories. The moment you hold a 1995 Liberty Jefferson nickel in your palm, you may think it is just another small 5-cent coin resting silently against your skin. But in the mysterious world of rare coin collecting, ordinary appearances can hide extraordinary secrets. Somewhere among the millions of nickels struck in that year, a handful were born with unusual mint characteristics, microscopic errors, or exceptional strike qualities that transform them from everyday change into whispered legends. These are the coins that ignite dreams, fuel treasure hunts, and make collectors search through jars, drawers, and forgotten pockets, hoping destiny left one behind. The Liberty Jefferson design itself carries an aura of American history and pride. The calm profile of Jefferson, the dignified simplicity of the Monticello engraving, and the steady metallic tone create a timeless symbol. Yet in rare moments, the minting process produces coins that stand apart. Sharper details, mirror-like surfaces, double inscriptions, or subtle misalignments that the untrained eye may miss, but expert collectors recognize instantly. These small differences can turn a simple 1995 nickel into a collector's fantasy, a piece that sparks bidding wars and headlines in auction halls. In the collector universe, rarity is the language of value. A coin produced in massive numbers is common, but a coin with an unusual flaw or exceptional preservation becomes a survivor, a masterpiece accidentally born in an industrial process. Some 1995 Jefferson nickels with rare die varieties or pristine uncirculated condition have achieved legendary status among enthusiasts. Their stories circulate through collector circles like modern folklore, tales of ordinary people discovering extraordinary coins that change their financial path overnight. Imagine opening an old coin box inherited from a grandparent, brushing away dust, and spotting a 1995 nickel with a strange doubling in the letters or a perfectly reflective surface unlike anything else. Your heartbeat quickens. You sense that this tiny disc may be more than spare change. That moment of realization is what drives coin hunters around the world. The possibility that fortune sometimes hides in the smallest places. Collectors know that the true power of a rare coin lies not only in metal, but in demand. When collectors desire a specific rare variety, competition rises, and prices climb dramatically. Auction rooms buzz, online marketplaces flare with bidding wars, and a single coin can reach astonishing heights simply because two determined collectors refuse to lose it. This is how a humble 5-cent piece transforms into a symbol of wealth and opportunity. But here is where wisdom matters. Many people rush to sell a found coin quickly, unaware of its potential rarity. True value reveals itself only after expert examination, authentication, and grading. A coin that seems ordinary to one person can be a treasure to another who recognizes its subtle features. Patience, knowledge, and careful handling protect the future worth of your discovery. The legend of the million-worth nickel lives because rare coins genuinely have changed lives before. Not every 1995 nickel will be special, but the possibility exists, a thrilling chance that keeps curiosity alive. It is a spark of hope that makes coin collecting more than a hobby. It becomes a quest for hidden miracles sleeping inside everyday objects. So if you ever find a 1995 Liberty Jefferson nickel that looks unusually sharp, shiny, misprinted, or different in any small way, pause before spending it. That single decision, not to toss it into ordinary circulation, could be the step that separates routine life from a remarkable story. Fortune often rewards those who look twice at what others overlook. The world of rare coins is built on stories of surprise discoveries, careful study, and bold patience. Each rare nickel carries its own journey from mint machine to collector's showcase. Whether your coin becomes a modest collectible or a sensational rarity depends on its unique traits, expert evaluation, and timing in the collector market. In the end, the 1995 Liberty Jefferson Nickel is more than metal. It is a reminder that value is sometimes hidden in plain sight. So search your change, examine your coins, and never underestimate the smallest treasures. Because somewhere out there, a tiny 5-cent piece might just be waiting to rewrite someone's destiny. A quiet corner of history, hidden in everyday pocket change, lies a coin that almost nobody notices. The 1989 Liberty Jefferson Nickel. 5 cents in face value. Yet in the world of rare coin legends, a single tiny piece of metal can become a doorway to unimaginable destiny. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary at first glance, yet carrying the possibility of mystery, rarity, and hidden fortune. Many people spend such coins without a second thought, but collectors know that sometimes the most common year can produce the most uncommon miracle. A single mistake at the mint, a rare strike, or a flawless untouched condition can transform a simple nickel into a treasure whispered about in collector circles. This is where the story begins, not in banks or vaults, but in the palm of your hand. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel was born in massive numbers, traveling through countless wallets and cash registers, yet a few escaped the ordinary fate of circulation. Some were struck with tiny anomalies, others preserved in pristine condition, never touched by commerce. These special survivors become the chosen ones among millions of ordinary brothers. When time passes, rarity grows not from age alone, but from survival. A coin that remains flawless for decades becomes a silent champion of endurance. It is not just metal. It is a time traveler carrying the fingerprint of a year was born. Collectors search for perfection. A nickel with sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, or an unusual mint error becomes a heartbeat of excitement in auctions and private trades. One tiny misalignment, one double feature, one off-center strike. These imperfections become perfections in a collector's eye. The price climbs not because of its face value, but because human desire crowns it rare. This is how legends of ordinary coins with extraordinary money are born. Not overnight, but through scarcity, condition, and demand. In the world of numismatics, stories spread faster than reality. Tales of nickels selling for jaw-dropping sums ignite imagination. People rush to their coin jars, examining every Jefferson portrait with new eyes. Hope becomes part of the hobby, the dream that one small discovery could rewrite a life story. And while not every coin is a fortune, the possibility keeps the thrill alive. The 1989 nickel becomes more than currency. It becomes a symbol of hidden opportunity. If you ever find a 1989 Jefferson nickel that looks unusual, perfectly struck, strangely misprinted, or untouched by circulation, that is when caution becomes power. Do not rush to sell it for pocket change. Do not hand it to someone who sees only 5 cents. Rare coins earn their true value when evaluated by experts, protected in holders, and introduced to the right collectors. Knowledge is the key that unlocks a coin's real worth. There's a special magic in collectibles. Value is not decided by metal alone, but by human passion. Gold, silver, and copper are simply materials, but rarity and desire turn them into treasure. Even a modern nickel can one day become a prized artifact when fewer survive. Time is the silent creator of fortune. The person who keeps, studies, and protects a rare coin becomes part of that journey. Stories of overnight fortune inspire millions, and while real wealth from coins usually comes through patience and study, the excitement is real. A single find can open doors, selling to the right buyer, funding dreams, or becoming the pride of a collection. This is why coin collectors speak of discovery, like explorers hunting hidden cities. Every coin box, every old drawer, every forgotten purse becomes a potential map to treasure. The Jefferson nickel itself carries history, a tribute to a founding father, a design passed through generations. Owning a rare example connects you not only to money, but to time itself. It is like holding a small monument, quietly surviving decades, waiting for the right person to recognize its story. When you understand this, you realize coins are not just objects, they are storytellers. So if you ever come across a 1989 Jefferson nickel that looks special, treat it like a mystery waiting to be solved. Store it safely. Examine it carefully. Seek proper valuation. And never underestimate what knowledge can reveal. A fortune is not built by luck alone. It is built by recognizing value where others see nothing. In the end, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel stands as a reminder. Sometimes destiny hides in the smallest places. A 5-cent piece can spark curiosity, hope, and ambition. Whether it becomes a collector's prize or simply a fascinating keepsake, the real power lies in awareness. And in the world of rare coins, awareness is often the first step toward extraordinary discovery.